The Pittsburgh Steelers got a tough win, 18-10 against the Atlanta Falcons, and the Steelers defense carried like they always did. TJ Watt single-handedly won this game for Pittsburgh, in my opinion. The Atlanta Falcons could not stop this dude, man. He was in the backfield nearly every play, it seemed like, either getting the sack or causing chaos behind the line of scrimmage. The Steelers defense came away with 3 takeaways in this game. They had 2 interceptions on Kirk Cousins and a fumble recovery. They held the Falcons to under 100 rushing yards. And Chris Boswell is still the MVP of the Steelers offense. He's the Steelers' best offensive player. He scored all 18 of their points in this game. You know, the Steelers offensively look a little bit better this year with Arthur Smith calling the plays. Because at least you're not going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out every possession. Instead, you're kicking field goals every possession. And I guess you can't be too mad at that because you are putting points on the board. But you would like to see the Steelers do a better job at finishing drives. Justin Fields got the start at quarterback today. Russell Wilson was sidelined with the calf injury. And I thought he played pretty well. You know, he did have a couple of throws that got away from him when he had guys wide open, 6-8 yards down the field. He put it in the turf, but I liked how Arthur Smith did a really good job of utilizing Justin Fields' dynamic running ability. He was cooking up design quarterback runs, read options, and that's what you want to see Arthur Smith do with the guy that has the skill set Justin Fields has. The Steelers don't need for Justin Fields to be the second coming of Big Ben. And he looked better than Kenny Pickett. He was averaging 9.2 yards per completion. Kenny Pickett last year barely wanted to throw the football past 5 yards downfield. So I will take the performance that Justin Fields gave Pittsburgh this afternoon over anything that KP or Mason Rudolph or Mitch Trubisky did last year. And I want to see if the Steelers are going to stick with Justin Fields as QB1 because he brings more to this offense than what you would get if you go with Russell Wilson. If you start Russell Wilson, you're not going to get the effective quarterback runs out of him that you were getting out of Justin Fields. He's just a different kind of athlete than what Russell Wilson is. And to be honest with you, I believe right now, at this point of his career, Russell Wilson isn't even a better QB than what Justin Fields is. Justin Fields had a pretty good game. You know, he did have a couple of botched snaps, but he didn't turn it over. He was able to get on top of them. So the Steelers played a pretty okay game offensively. I'm not going to say good because anytime you score under 20 in today's NFL, it's a lackluster performance. But at least you were able to put some points up on the board. You slowed down Atlanta's offense. If you're a Falcons fan, man, Kirk Cousins looked really rusty today. You obviously could tell that he didn't play a lot in the preseason. He didn't play at all. He still is trying to get back to the form that he was prior to sustaining that Achilles injury. But your next 2 games are really tough. This was a game that Atlanta had to win against Pittsburgh, and they walk away with the L. Now you got to play Philadelphia and the Kansas City Chiefs these next 2 weeks. And if you start out 0-3 and Kirk Cousins still struggles in those games like he did today against Pittsburgh, then you have to start asking, do we go to Michael Penix? You did invest the top 10 pick into him. He did look lights out the only preseason game that he played against Miami. And for all the money that you're investing in the Kirk Cousins, you don't have any room, if you're Raheem Morris, to have a season where you go under 500. This should at least be a 9-win team or better, and they got to make it to the playoffs, it seems like. With all the talent that Atlanta has, bringing in Matt Judon, Justin Simmons, the good offensive line, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, B. John Robinson on offense, it seems like it has to be playoffs or bust, for the Atlanta Falcons this year. And if they don't make it to the postseason, I think that's a fair reason to fire Raheem Morris. And losing a game like this to Pittsburgh, you know, is definitely concerning because this was a game that they were favored to win. They were like a 2-3 point favorite coming into this game, and they just really couldn't get anything going offensively due to how rusty Kirk Cousins looked. The best play Kirk had was when he threw that touchdown to Kyle Pitts. I know that had Falcons fans going crazy because they were like, oh, damn, we got an offensive coordinator that actually knows how to get Kyle Pitts the freaking football. Well, this was Arthur Smith's revenge game. I thought he coached a pretty good game. He has some pretty nice play calls in there. We did see a little bit more variance out of this offense compared to the same old jet sweep every damn play with Matt Canada. So I like what I saw out of the Steelers offensively tonight against Atlanta. Obviously, you want to see more points put on the scoreboard than just 18, and you don't want your kicker responsible for all the points that you scored. But a win is a win. It's week one. Oftentimes, you're going to get sloppy play. Things aren't going to look as good now as what they will look in the middle of the season when everybody's in the thick of the NFL action. Everybody's acclimated to the playbook. Everybody has a better understanding of the play caller's tendencies, what their offensive coordinator wants to do. So the Steelers get a really impressive win, 18-10 over the Atlanta Falcons.